Hi there. So in this set of coding exercise, I want to walk you through on how to go about getting digital information that is part of the metadata in a image, right? Like a digital image. And the specific item that we're looking for is what it is called Exif, EXIF, and it stands for exchangeable image file format, right? So exchangeable, hopefully spelling it right, image file format. And if your camera is set up to do this, it will have several kinds of metadata. The one we are looking at in this exercise here are the locations, right? The locations, the geocoding. So in order to do that, we have to do a couple of things here. What I've done is that I'm using my Mac, and you can see on the folder below, there's a couple of folders here, there's a few pictures. It turns out that this other folder that I have does not have, it has images, but it doesn't have Exif data in it. But this other folder that I've called Utah, it has quite a few images which we do have that metadata. So first thing I want to do is that in order to do that, you have to import, of course, you have to import Exif read. If once you write that code, and if you run your code and if it doesn't work, that means that module is not installed. So I use Mac, and I have to open up a terminal and just type pip3 or just pip install and write that name, and it will install that for you. Okay. So if it's not there, you just for me, this is the command I have to write on. I'm going to put the command right on the next line. That's the command I have to write to install on my Mac in the terminal. The other item that you also have to install, I'm going to write it here already because then we don't have to go back. Import reverse, spelling correct. Sometimes the spelling looks good to me, but it's not as correct as I want it to be. SRG. So what we will do here is that module will provide us the metadata that is in an image, and part of that metadata is the longitude and the latitude, right? And then we take those values and we put it into this other module, and this will turn those numbers into a real location, right? So if you don't have these, then you go ahead and install, in the same manner as well. And then I have, I'm just taking some shortcuts here. So I have an image file on my Mac as well. I mean, you can use the OS module and get rid of these and walk this out, but that's not my point here. All right. So how do we start doing that? The way it's done is that you so first thing we want to do, right? We want to say f is equals to open the file name fn, and make sure you have a RB here, right? RB is very important. If you have something else, it's not going to work for you. And then I can say tags equals to xread.process file. All right, put F in here, and then simple, I can maybe, so let's just print this out and see what comes up, right? Tags. Let's save that, move it a little bit to the side, and hit actually I can leave it here, just hit the run button. All right, so it has a whole bunch of stuff, but it's difficult to read. All right, difficult to read. The whole thing comes in a form of a dictionary. So let's just, what we can do to make it more readable, we can say for tags in, not tags, I'm sorry, tag in tags.keys, or even tag, and I can do tag and value too, value in tags. Tags dot. Well, so I don't want to print everything though. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Tags dot items, right? And simply I want to print tag value. Let's see what this shows up, and run that line of code, and it will print Well, it's kind of, that's funny, you know, when I just realized is that this is slower than well, I guess it's not too slow, but either way, so it prints a whole bunch of information. In order for us to find the location of where the image was taken, you are interested in these four values, all right, those four values. So what you need to do, I'm just going to copy that over, right? Copy that over, and I'm going to paste it here. So once you get that value, I'm going to comment this out. Let's just use 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. So since these are in a dictionary, right, you can easily use that key to take out whether it's a north or south, and then the longitude you can also use as a key and take out the value. Okay. Now the GPS the latitude, these numbers, they represent something. All right, they represent something, and what it is that those numbers, they are yeah, so we have to take that out in, these are degrees, right? Degrees, minutes, and seconds. So I'm going to put here degrees, minutes, and seconds, all right? And in order for you to convert them into a decimal degree value, so you need to take that, right? You need to, so you need to take, let me just put it right here for making things easier. So we will basically take the, well, not take it, but convert DMS to DD. And what DD is basically decimal degrees, right? Decimal degrees. There's a formula to it, and the formula basically is something of this type, right? That's the formula. Okay, so now I'm just going to hard code the formula here. Is equals to, because I mean, you can write the formula easily, but I'm just making it easier for me, for myself. So DD, let me just copy this over right here, and DD is what, 40. All right, minute is 18, and seconds is that much is a second. So I have to take that amount. I believe I can take the full amount, and instead of that, put right here. And then I want to basically print this out. Print. Oops, I don't want to print this up anymore. So this is, take that out. All right, so it prints a value for me. All right, prints a value for me. And then the other thing I want to do is that I want to do the same thing for the longitude, right? So once you have the value, once you have the value, do the same thing for the longitude. All right. So let's just try something here. So longitude, we will go ahead and I can almost copy the same thing. All right. Copy the same thing, put it down here, and this is what latitude. So I'm going to say DD underscore LAT, and this would be DD underscore longitude, right? Is that right? LONGT. All right, so that would be 1. This would be 43, and that number, I hope I'm copying everything the way it's supposed to be. Right, DD LAT, and then DD underscore long. Okay, let's give a print on this, and I'm hoping it will give us some numbers. Right, so then once you have those numbers, you have to remember something though, right? Now, once you have these numbers, you have to, if in this case, my reference was a north and west. All right. So if the reference is north and east, then these numbers will be positive, right? But if the reference is south and west, then if the latitude reference is south, then I need to change that DD LAT to negative, right? In this case, the longitude reference is west, so that means that number needs to be a negative number. So basically, what I can do here, just take a shortcut, right? You can do, I mean, whatever you want to, but here, DD, because I want to put a note here, and the note would be, since the GPS is west, that means that number needs to be negative, right? West, and so remember, west and south, you have to change it to negative to whatever value is there. So now running this should give me a whole new number with a negative sign in it. Okay, so now that we have the two values, what you need to do is that you need to use this reverse G coder, right? Reverse G coder. So here I can simply say, so let's go reverse G coder info, right, equals to rg.search. Search is a built-in method function in there, and you provide ddlat, right, ddlong. Okay, once that comes back, I simply want to go ahead and print. So let's just print rg info. Let's see what kind of information it gives. Now remember that rg info is a dictionary, and it's got a whole bunch of information, right? There's all kinds of data which we don't even need. All right, what happened? Expecting a tuple or tuples, right? So maybe here. So now I'm taking those two, and calling RD search, and that looks, expecting a tuple. So be very careful. And the careful thing about it is that you see that how I'm passing the parameter. Right now I'm passing in two values. It doesn't want that. It wants one value, which is a tuple. So you have to put an extra parenthesis around it. Now the argument is one parameter, but it's a tuple with two values in it. All right. Okay, so it's doing something, right? It's got a whole bunch of stuff. So that is cool. All right, maybe my hey is producing some item. So now you see that the name, all right, if you look at the name is the nearest city of the coordinates that you provided. And I'm not sure why this is called admin one. I mean, I'm just blown away myself too. That Canelo is possibly like a the next maybe a county outside of Altavor, and then admin 2 could be a state. It's not listed here, but at least you can see how you can take an image, right, and kind of process it in this manner, get the GPS information that's in the metadata, right, and take it and convert it and pass it in as into the reverse G-coder search, and it will tell you the information about what it can find. Now, I'm not too sure if my calculation is right or wrong, which is okay, because you can figure that out, right? You can figure that out. But my formula here is correct, all right? My formula is definitely correct. And what it is that basically, you take the degrees, the minutes, and the seconds, right? And you do it in that manner. So hopefully this helps, right? Hopefully this. I'm not sure about my seconds being converted properly. All right. So degrees, minutes, Degrees minutes is pretty straightforward. All right, you just have those. Now seconds. Yeah, I think seconds is correct. But hey, at least you know how to get something working. All right, hopefully this helps. Thank you.